All right, so I was just scrolling through Reddit this morning, and I came across this on the screen. This little meme caption thing from Late Stage Capitalism. GM isn't closing plants to move them somewhere cheaper. They're closing plants because people aren't buying cars. Turns out if we don't pay people a living wage, they can't afford to buy things. Well, that's a nice, 15 for all kind of statement. If you aren't familiar with late stage capitalism, they build themselves as a safe place for socialism. Let's see if we can find the yeah. It's a safe place for socialist discussion. It's run by and for communists and anarchists. Uh, we welcome socialist, anti-capitalist news, memes, links, and discussion. This subreddit is not the place to debate socialism. We allow good faith questions in education that are not a 101 sub. Please take 101 style questions elsewhere. And it goes on. So, I came across that, and these guys are pretty much wrong about everything. So I was like, well, is that true? So I did, 5 minutes of Googling and came across this. So this is tradingeconomics.com. It's a good, statistical repository of lots of different things, actually, for, economic measurements. So here we have the number of cars sold in the U.S. Going back to 1993 or so, something like that. And these are annualized numbers, so they're updated monthly by the Department of the Treasury and the U.S. Highway Administration, I think it's called. And so, like in the month of October, or rather in the month of October, it says 17.44 million. But that doesn't mean 17.44 million were sold in October. That was the number annualized across the whole year. So just keep in mind when looking at these numbers. And so from 1993-ish, we have a kind of a general uptrend up into 2000, occasional spike for whatever reason. The financial crisis hits, poof, crashes down from 17 million-ish down to 9, and then started rising again, and now we're back up 2015 and up to now we're back in the same range as we were from roughly 2000 to 2006. So as it turns out, the cars are, it's not people are buying less cars. Now the population has grown over those years a bit, so you can make an argument saying that per capita people are buying fewer cars. You might also say that cars have improved over the past 20, 30 years, so they last longer, and they're still in good shape, even though they're lasting longer. So perhaps the relative demand for cars has gone down slightly, but that doesn't necessarily mean like if you're in the place of GM, does that mean that you would have to close the plant? Probably not. Not because of overall market forces anyway. So, maybe your cars are, not as good as other cars for style or performance or whatever it is. So you're losing market share that way. That's a possibility. And with some more googling, I wanted to look at the median cost to see if that was a relevant factor here. And this was the best thing I could find quickly, where in 1990 the average new car was $16,950, 2008 was $27,958, and 2013 was $31,352. And the numbers I've seen for let's look here. Oh, Statista doesn't like me because I looked at their stuff too much. And let's look back in February 1st, 2018. So the average new car for 2018 is $36,270. So the prices are going up. The overall trend is flat. So people's income spent on cars at least is maintaining roughly constant. But then, so I wanted to take a look at GM. So what's going on there? Why are they closing plants? And I just pulled up their financial statements on Yahoo Finance. And so if this is the annual reports, 2017, 2016, 2015, 2014, total revenue, had a dip in 2015 for whatever reason, but 155, 135, 149, 145. And this is in thousand. So 145 million is actually 145 billion. So they sold 145 billion dollars worth of stuff. Cost of revenue is obviously a lot, manufactured products. So we could see that the gross profit has remained pretty consistent, at least 2016, 2017. Their SG&A expenses, roughly, they've actually come down a bit, but in the same ballpark. And then operating income or loss after all that stuff. So 2014 was a bad year, 15 was better, 16 was good, 17 was about the same. And then we look at net income from continuing ops, and we got 4 billion, 9 billion, 9 billion, 330 million. So what the hell happened there? And these numbers are all in line with each other, in line. Income before tax, kind of mirrors the operating numbers, and then income tax expense, 228 million. Refund of 1.2 billion, paid 2.7 billion, paid 11.5 billion dollars in income tax, and so that kind of shot their year for 2017. And having your income tax payment be your entire income before tax number makes 0 sense. So there must have been some issue going on there, and I'm not familiar enough with GM to know off the top of my head what that was. But yeah, so they had some major expense there. Might have been penalties or whatever. And it cost them all their money for 2017. So let's look at the quarterlies. Let's see. So we got September, June, March, and then ending 2017. And we can see that now that that expense is over, things are kind of back on track. So why are they closing plants? Well, I don't know. For whatever reason, they feel that the relative costs and benefits are warranting closing plants and upsetting the Trump administration, upsetting the unions, and at this point, it looks like upsetting just general Americans, because it's viewed as a very un-American move. So yeah, we'll see how it unfolds. But going back to our original thing, where people aren't buying cars, that's just not true. So case in point of a be careful with internet memes and believing anything you read. So catch you next time.